have begun. Breaching the eternal blue right at the break of morn. Sailing toward the unknown with my crew on the sea. The day that I return, a hero I shall be. A hero I shall be. A hero I shall be. I'm all set to be rebellion. I'm all set to go straight up and I will leave shore to find what I've been longing for. I'm all set to be rebellion. I'm all set to go straight up and I will leave shore to find what I've been longing for. I'm all set to be rebellion. I'm all set to go straight up burdens. I will leave shore to find what I've been longing. I'm all set to be rebellion. I'm all set to go straight up burdens. I will leave shore to find what I've been longing for.
Did it again. Hello, everybody. It's me. It's me. It's good old Super D, Super Dave. And we're back with yet another Milltown in the morning. And this is a special Milltown in the morning, y'all, because it's Groundhog's Day. You know, what I have to ask myself is, you know, Groundhog's Day has been a thing for like ever, right? And it's always been Punxsutawney's Phil. I want to know how many of these poor groundhogs got shackled with such a horrid, horrid name. But needless to say, he did not see a shadow, so I believe that means we get an early spring. So I'm all for that. Super Dave is always good for beautiful clouds and rainbows and all the good signs of spring, you know, because it is 2024, and that is the year of Milltown. And I quote that phrase to our guest who's going to be joining us today, and that is Badwick. Badwick himself said 2024 would be the year of Milltown, and I am taking that and running with it all the way to the end of this year, and we will see how far I came. It's been a hell of a start already, guys. I don't know, you know, I believe it was a good wise man named Slow Drip who said that people want Milltown in the morning. They need it. They crave it. They absolutely gotta have Milltown in the morning. And they don't want to see the other pointless BS that I put out there. And Slow Drip was right. Did you guys see the numbers on my last live stream? I mean, I've never got never got numbers like that on any stream I've ever done. Whether it's Valid Opinions Live, whether it was me on my own, whether it was me talking about the biggest YouTubers I could possibly think of. And I did that on my own, guys. And I'm proud of myself. We had a short that I did. I just pulled the clip from, you know, the stream, Milltown in the Morning, where I was talking about Violent J of the Insane Clown Posse. And that is already almost at 3,000 views. You know, I know some of these big YouTubers, they don't think these numbers really matter. You know, those are small potatoes to them. But to me, boy, I felt like I was Mr. Beast. I was walking around the house like, yeah, man, I'm a YouTuber. It felt absolutely amazing, you guys. I feel like I'm on the right path. And you want to know why I feel like I'm on the right path? Is because I'm finally showing you guys me. I'm not worried about fitting in. I'm just giving you me in the buff. I mean, not literally in the buff, because we don't need to see that. I mean, keep that covered. But I'm being me. I'm just being genuine. I'm so happy we got people in the chat here. I see Paradox in the chat. Good old Mama Creepy. Even though she did a brand change, name change, she's always going to be Mama Creepy to me. I believe she's going by, what is that, Tara WR or T Little Hands. She's got many aliases. But in all of our hearts, she is Mama Creepy. You know, she almost won Orbiter of the Year in my awards show, the Commentary Community Awards. And the only thing, I mean, she was tied in votes. And the only thing that separated her from Shadow Humor was a few followers. You know, we decided to go with the more popular Orbiter. And in that case, it was Shadow Humor. But I believe Mama Creepy had the popular vote. But Mama Creepy is in the chat with us. Good to see you guys all here. The talk all over X or Twitter has been yay for MILTOWN Live. And like I said, guys, we're going to be joined by Badwick Productions. You guys might simply just know him as Badwick. Badwick is kind of like the new arbiter of the commentary community. He is a Canadian-based YouTuber, Twitch streamer, Kick streamer. He even has a daily news show he's uploading to YouTube now. I mean, everybody knows of Badwick shows. The guy's got like a half a dozen of them. But how many of you guys actually know Badwick? So kind of that's what I want to jump into today when Badwick hops in whenever he gets a chance. You know, he's got a life of his own, and I gave him the links and everything. I said, join us when you get a chance. I have a full docket that we can talk about, you know, till he gets here. I want to do some reactions to some fan-submitted clips. I want to talk a little bit about Vince McMahon, guys. This stuff is all over YouTube. I read the 67-page complaint, also known as a lawsuit that was filed in Connecticut against WWE and Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And that is some sick stuff. Leah Something, a community member, did almost a 5-hour-long stream talking about how depraved this is. And I wish I could show you the text messages and just a small sample of evidence that this Miss Grant has put forth, but it just wouldn't fly on YouTube. We're talking about some perverse stuff. But this lawsuit has led to a plethora of WWE fans going back in the WWE/WWF catalogs and pulling every single interview Vince McMahon or his family has ever done. And in professional wrestling, there's something called a shoot interview. And a shoot interview basically means you're taking elements from reality and incorporating it into your storyline. Wrestling fans like that because it smears the line of fiction and reality. So a lot of people do this and it gets over very well. But now people are looking at all these Vince McMahon promos from his family and whatnot and are wondering how much of this was a shoot, that when Stephanie McMahon was talking about, she was essentially pimped out by her father at the age of 17 to a business associate. So we got clips. We're going to talk about all that. I also want to talk about, last episode I spoke a little bit about Violent J and these crazy allegations that have been coming out against Violent J of the Insane Clown Posse. And I said, I feel like this was 1997. Although these are very shocking, very nasty, very disgusting things to say, even for 1997, I feel that was the culture at the time. But there has been no solid proof of any allegations. And Violent J agrees with that, and he has been hitting people left and right with cease and desists, threats of lawsuits for defamation of character. Basically saying people can't separate the artist from the art. And it makes me wonder, for a while there, everybody was saying that YouTube was protecting these predators like EDP 445 and all this stuff. And it makes me wonder, are people really, even Vince McMahon is essentially trying to hide behind his NDA, stating that this Miss Grant has no grounds to this lawsuit because she signed an NDA. But I don't believe NDAs and stuff like that protect against criminal acts. So we're going to discuss, I got a video clip of a lawyer discussing if Vince McMahon's NDA that he had Miss Grant sign will actually hold up in court. Guys, I want to talk about mental health today. Lots of stuff going on X in our commentary community involving someone that I honestly consider a friend of mine. Last year, when everything was going on with Dove and Eli and the hashtag Dove cult, there was somebody that gave me a chance. The victim in that whole incident, a man by the name of Darcy Evans. was doxxed in this whole situation, and Darcy at first thought it was me, thought I was involved in this, but Darcy was so open, and that led to a friendship between Darcy and I. And Darcy helped me get through that whole Dove Cult time, was there for me through some very rough times, talked to me on the holidays when I had nobody. You know, I don't have much. It's me and my brother. I don't have family. So I kind of got a connection to Darcy and considered him a friend of mine. And word came out that attempts had been made on people's lives, self-harm attempts, and I was distraught. I literally was upset. Not because it was a success, Darcy is alive and well, but because I didn't reach out. I saw signs. I saw signs of depression. I saw signs of serious anguish. And yet, I don't want to say I couldn't have been bothered, but I simply didn't know how to reach out. I didn't want to assume I could read people's minds, and I've always reached out to Darcy when I was having a hard time mentally, because that's, you know, in therapy I learned you got to reach out. And just a lot of mental health stuff I want to touch on. And I want to say, guys, right off the top of the show, if you have any thoughts of self-harm, or you're in a deep, dark place of depression, seriously, just pick up that phone, and I believe it's 988, just dial 988, and you'll be connected to the suicide hotline. That's in the United States. There's never, how can I say it? Suicide is never an out. And it's not, even people say that's the easy way out. No, it's, you hurt more people than you're hurting yourself. For example, there was a 24-hour period there where I was getting no updates, no nothing, and I struggle with depression myself. So imagine how I felt, feeling I could have prevented something, or I could have talked somebody down, and that option was took from me, or I wasn't strong enough to reach out. So now there's so much stuff coming out, and people are questioning if this suicide attempt was real, if this is a act of mental health crisis where somebody is craving attention. I'm not going to speculate on any of that because, like I said, Darcy is a friend of mine. I know what's going on behind the scenes, and I know how the people involved in this story covet their privacy, and I don't want to betray that privacy, because when people say they trust me, I want them to be able to trust me. I want them to know that they can trust me. And speaking of that, we got Badwick right now, and Badwick, I got to bring you in on this if you don't mind. 1 second here, guys. Let me bring Badwick in. I think if you could unmute Badwick, you should be good to go.
Hey, MILTOWN, what's up, bro?
Hey, Badwick. So, let me just cue you up over here. So, you know, I hope you're okay. Are you okay with discussing this Darcy situation just a little bit?
Yeah, whatever you want, bro.
And I do want to get to the interview, but I kind of want this to be just a quick PSA. We seem to be dealing with a lot of mental health issues in the commentary community. Do you seem like this is kind of the average, or do you think it's getting worse with the mental health and stuff like that in this community?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's the average, but like, are you really surprised that there's mental health online? You know what I mean? No,
I totally feel you on that. It's just, where do you stand with this Darcy story? I heard, you know, you streamed earlier about this.
I'm mixed on it. I mean, I personally think there is, like, regardless if the story's 100% true or not, or like bits of it are exaggerated or all of it's exaggerated, there's obviously mental health involved. You know what I mean? And I don't really... The reason why I spoke about it on my stream today is because I guess stuff popped off in my Discord last night where a bunch of people were actually talking to Darcy, and then there's arguments and all that. I agree with, like, I don't know if you were listening to my stream earlier.
I was.
But beavers were, who cares? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
if someone's having a mental crisis online, like, I don't know. I don't necessarily think it's content
Well, people
worthy.
are making it
However,
content at this point,
they
Badwick. I
are.
mean, Darcy has like 111 followers on her X account. So had it just stayed there, it
Mhm.
would have been okay. But like, I looked at some of her actual postings, and they're almost up to like 2,000 views, and so obviously somebody is interested, and
Well, people are interested. It's Darcy is someone who orbits a lot of the commentary community on all angles. Like you'll see them on Now Recording, then you'll see them on other individuals' streams. Like they're all over the place. And Darcy's also someone who donates. You know what I mean? So they do get some attention from streamers. So when Darcy goes on, you know, on Twitter, it is going to catch some eyes, and you are going to have some people notice it and cover it because to some people it is content. You know what I mean? They want
yeah.
to talk about what do these people know in the community.
You know, now one last thing before we actually start this interview. I believe there was a conversation that took place on your Discord server, which I believe your Discord server is public, is it not?
Yeah, it's a public Discord.
Okay, now hopefully I'm gonna ask Mama Creepy if she can. She's a moderator. If she can link your Discord server in the chat, I'd appreciate that for you, Mama Creepy. But what is your take on people recording conversations from your Discord server and then using that for content? Are you for or against that?
Pretty indifferent on it. I mean, I don't like when people complain about it.
Okay.
Per se, which there's like if someone wants to stream or record a VC in my Discord, that's in a public channel. I mean, that's on you. But
For
I've
sure.
also had situations in the past with other streamers where they would try to live stream from a Discord server and then drama happens on that and then they get mad at the Discord in general. And I mean, there's no way to prevent recording as far as I'm aware from Discord. So I'm always under the impression if you're in a Discord VC, uh, you know, have an idea that someone might be recorded.
Yeah.
To be honest, that's always the attention I have. Do I think it's kind of scummy to record conversations when people are unaware of it? Absolutely. I think it's pretty disingenuous. But I mean, we're in a community where people do that all the time, either to have it as a gotcha, or as a means to defend themselves, or as a means for evidence against whatever might come up. I just think you should always have an idea that someone is recording.
Yeah, that's what I picked up because me and this, the whole dove cult thing, which you covered in depth.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson from Discord, and I was anti-Discord for the longest.
I know you were. I remember that. Yeah.
Parking Tigers was actually the one who was like, "Come back, I'll keep you safe" type situation. Of all
I'm glad
people,
you
Parking.
came back, MILTOWN. I really am.
So I mean, I'm trying, and that's one thing I gotta say about you, Badwick. As a content creator, you've been in this now for a few years, right? You've actually been making videos for how long?
On YouTube or like just
In general,
like,
how long would you
commentary or
consider
in
yourself a
general? I've been on
creator?
YouTube for like 7-8 years now, just on different channels. But what's it called? And like commentary, I think it's about like 2 or 3 years now.
Because it's been almost a year now since I've been introduced to you. How me and Badwick actually met is I was doing my very first ever live stream, and Abby Blackbird just pulled them in out of the blue on my very first live stream. And that was almost a year ago to this date. And one thing I've noticed in just that year of me following you is you've really grown tough skin. You're kind of the guy in the community that's real chill with everybody. Like, Badwick, who are your enemies? Do you have enemies?
No, I think that's a really fucking stupid term, to be honest.
Well,
I mean,
I
there's
don't mean
obviously
it but you don't beef
no,
with
no,
anybody.
no. It's no. There is like people where I've had like issues with. Like Slug is an easy one where like I'm hot and cold with that guy.
But how much of that shtick? Like, do you genuinely have hate for the man, or is that for content?
No, this is all online shit. Why would you generally like? I like there are some people who I absolutely I'm not fond of or don't trust online. Like I said, Slug's a slippery guy.
Yeah.
And then like I mean, I had my whole like L situation with like the Craig Beckham Mama.
I was
Mac
hearing you talk
situation.
about that this morning.
Yeah, exactly. And like you know what that was like that was an L for me, to be honest. But lessons learned. You get into the community, you start to shit talking people or making videos, and then people are gonna respond to that eventually.
You said you started doing various channels at first. Did you find the transition into commentary a smooth transition, besides the Craig Beckett stuff and everything? Or is it something you had to actually work for? Like, I'm going to focus on commentary community and strictly commentary community, or was it just a natural ongoing process?
I think commentary is an easy community to get into as long as you have opinions and if you can't make content any other way. I think anybody can do commentary as long as you're willing to just like say what's on your mind. What I don't enjoy with the community are people who just regurgitate the same fucking opinion. I find that shit so boring. I'd rather do anything else than hear 3 or 4 streams of the same people saying the same shit.
You know, I was saying that earlier. I feel that you, Badwick, are one of the most original people in the commentary community. You're always trying new things. I believe you have like 4 separate shows now. You have a show called WALLSMASHE'S, which I guess this Wall Smash, if I were to sum it up, I would say you're kind of taking people who are less than desired in this community and actually giving them the platform to show the good side of them.
I wouldn't say less than desired. I would say there are people who tend to have a lot of criticism against
Very
them
much
for
so.
various reasons, on various levels for various different reasons. And I mean, Wall Smashers is actually a lot of fun. It's interesting to get a lot of different people as well together.
And you're always introducing new hosts on that show. I mean, it started out as like a 3-piece
Well,
ensemble.
Wall Smashers originally started off as a joke where I was going to have Why So Demented and Ghosty and call it Liar Liar.
Yeah.
But both those individuals were fucking flaky as shit. So
I've come to learn the same. You know, I've come to see that especially that Demented kid. He really, just honestly, what is your take on Demented? Do you think that man genuinely has issues?
I don't know.
Or do you think he's a confused kid?
I think I had a mild take on the whole Demented situation entirely. I think he lied about a bunch of shit, but I also think he's just what was he, a young fucking kid, like 19 years old?
That's kind of my take on it, is I feel he's
so
young.
Hungry on the internet, and then he lied, and then he got lost in his lies, and then he kept like trying to up the previous lie, and then it all fell apart when people started to look into him. And I mean, you can't go around saying you're a fucking, like, what was he, like a Latino gangbanger fucking killing people and shit like that.
You know,
like,
this
people are
Smith.
gonna look that up. And like, one of my criticisms of the Why So Demented thing is that this guy told everyone how terrible of a fucking person he was, yet the community was so fine to have him in it. And that's a take I had, like, after all this happened. I just kind of sat back and was like, you know what? He said a bunch of foul shit, like he's a drug dealer, he killed people, all that shit. But yeah, like everyone is so fine with him until he got exposed. It's like,
yeah, like they're okay with all that stuff, but that's the lie in his what did it.
Community, exactly. I was like, what's that saying with the community? And I was like,
true.
It just made me think. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, okay.
You know, I caught your last episode of WALLSMASHE'S where you introduced Asher's and everybody on it, and you know, Rev is another person. I think introduces a little something special to that show. Very unique perspective from Rev. I think you really got something going with WALLSMASHE'S. That last episode was highly, highly entertaining. I'm gonna link it in the description below. I guarantee if you guys like my kind of content, you'll love WALLSMASHE'S. But that's not your only show. You also have a show blatantly called TURD Island. Now, I believe TURD Island is streamed exclusively on Discord and Kick, correct?
Yeah, because there's too many fucking slurs.
Now, if I were to ask you to just give me, you know, the bullet point presentation, if I were to say, what is TURD Island, how would you sum it up to me?
I open up my Discord and allow anybody who thinks they have a valid opinion or to enter the call and brace their opinion. Well, brace. I don't even know what I'm fucking saying.
And when he says he opens it up,
state their opinion.
He opens it up. I mean, there'll be like
topic.
30, 40 people sometimes. I mean,
It is.
Well, I shouldn't say
That's
there's
why
a lot. I would say I've been in there one time and you've had at least 20 people, 25 people on a call. And
it's a shit show. You're allowing a bunch of small commentary creators who all think they have the correct opinion in the same room at once with very little moderation.
But it's highly successful. I mean, what would you say to the people that say that TURD Island is almost like a accompanying piece to the now recording show? Would you say there's similarities between the two programs or not?
Well, the one thing I'll say about small commentary is that we all share the same audience,
Yes.
and I've always Turd Island generally is on like Sunday, so I always kind of found Turd Island to be either the wrap up of the week or kind of like the palate cleanser of the week, where like it creates a drama, and then people talk about that drama for the week, or it resolves a drama, and then people move on from it. It's always how I looked at Turd Island. It's a shit show, and it wasn't. I never had Turd Island like the concept of it to ever be taken seriously. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people shouldn't watch a Turd Island and like expect a breakdown of a subject like you would if you watch like Nicholas Diori or Chud Logic. That's not why you're tuning into that fucking show. The joke is that it's Turd Island. You get a bunch of spurgs or commentary people gather together to fucking yell at each other about how they are right versus they're right. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
It's highly entertaining. Were you surprised with
any
how that show took off?
yes, I was surprised that it did as well as it did. But I also think it's because there's like a void at the
Yeah.
time when I started doing it. Like Doc on the radio wasn't streaming, Augie left, and there wasn't really a whole lot of just, you know what I mean, Spurg stuff going on. So it just honestly was a platform that allowed it people to come onto it. And like you said, I generally don't have a lot of issues with people in the community, or a lot of people don't have beefs with me. I mean, a lot of people think I'm retarded, which is fine. There's a lot of reasons why
Have you ever
you
had a
should
hard
think
time
that.
booking content creators on your channel, perhaps because they're afraid of being looked at as one of these spurgs, or has it always just been smooth sailing for you?
Honestly, I don't actually book a lot of people for Turd Island, which
Okay.
is why it was easy to run. I have like reached out to people if a topic was specifically about them, to be like, for example, like Emmy, or like with Leia and the ginger stuff, or
Yeah.
even Slug, when I'm like, Slug, we're gonna shit talk you, which he's the guy I always get the most fucking flack about, because everyone's like, why do you bring him on? He does this and this and this. And I don't like shit talking someone with
The man
them
is a
not
lightning
being
rod.
able. But you know what I mean? I don't like shit talking someone without them having a chance to defend themselves or even speak up. I think it's pretty fucking pussy like, you know what I mean?
I think that's why you're respected so much, though. I mean, like, you'll tell somebody "fuck you" to their face, you know,
I mean, like,
in so
and
many
not
words.
often, not often. On the newest episode of Wall Smashers coming out, me and Flatley get into something actually about why so demented. But I don't know. I'm not over, like, I don't find myself like an overly aggressive person either. Like I have no. I think the angriest I got was at an orbiter called Bad Dog.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just a platform basically to allow anyone to enter it. Like I've had controversial people like Joshua Putman, Lunar Parks on there.
Yeah.
Um, and then arguably, like, you know, like Mr. Sands, Slug, you at one point, a lot of people were like, why are you having Milltown on
Oh,
here? You shouldn't have Milltown. But like all my interactions with you were fine. You know
yeah.
what I mean? We've never really had issues. And you went through a whole stream of like, what was it, me and Lamp
Oh,
asking you questions. And then you took a bunch, like I think you had over 20 questions. And to give you credit, like you did awesome in that.
I try.
And
You know,
then
I've learned a lot from that stream. Believe it or not, is what I learned from that stream was just be yourself. People will respect you
yeah.
more if you just are yourself and you're not trying to fit a box. I felt like when I
Mhm.
first started in this community, I was trying to be somebody I really wasn't. I was trying to wiggle my way into places where I didn't belong, and it showed. People, I
Yeah.
don't think people respected that, but as I'd say, you know, the past 2-3 months where I've actually just changed my whole mindset, I've seen a lot more people warm up to me in a way, and I'm grateful for that. And I think a lot of that has to do with that interview I did with you, which reminds me, like, you're so diverse with your platforms. Is this a conscious effort on your behalf? Because, like, you got the YouTube, you got the Twitch, you got the Kick. I mean, you're all
Okay.
over the place. And you
So
got shows on all of them.
I get criticized for that. But I've also stuck to my guns on it, and this is gonna be really fucking cringy sounding. So like fucking 10 years ago, I heard a quote and from Philip DeFranco, who I'm not a fan anymore of Philip DeFranco. I find ever since he had kids, he's became like an angry fucking sellout of a YouTuber. But he made a comment to me that just stuck, saying you shouldn't have all your eggs Sorry, I had to mute for a second.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah, he made a quote saying you shouldn't have all your eggs in one basket, and that quote was I don't know, it stays true to me in commentary
Yeah.
because yeah, you know what I mean. Like it takes one slur for someone
Yeah.
to kind of like tank a stream on Twitch, and then if you get taken off of YouTube, you lose your entire YouTube channel. So that's why I do like Turd Island on Kick. It's why I have a show on Twitch, and why I just upload on YouTube.
And you got like the Badwick Daily News, I believe it's called, on YouTube now, which is a newer thing that you started since you got your new PC.
Diet drama alert or ghetto scarce are my favorite words for that show.
Nice. How would you say you're finding that so far? It's really quite interesting. I think that's going to help you grow into a more accomplished host, because you know you got your topics, you're delivering bullet points. How do you like doing that?
Yeah, it's fun. I'll be honest, like a lot of my influence, like for content creation and commentary in general, has been Keemstar. It's very
Okay.
apparent if you look at my content. I used to love Drama Alert.
I still love Drama Alert, even though it's not the same as it used to be.
MILTOWN, can you give me 1 minute, bro?
Sure, man. No problem.
I'll like be right back, okay?
Yeah, no
Sorry
problem.
about that.
So until we get back with him, guys, I just I'll check in with the chat real quick. How am I doing with my interview, guys? I'm a bit rusty. Haven't really interviewed anybody since the Valid Opinion days, so I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to cover it all. If you guys have anything you want me to ask Badwick when he gets back, just drop it in the chat, and I'll try to get to it. I wonder why my chat's not loading up. Yeah, Huggy on Wall Smashers is very successful, I think. I think Huggy is kind of... He's not a solo act, in my opinion. I think Huggy does best when he's got somebody to work off of, and I think that shows with Wall Smashers. Really, Paradox, you're not a fan of Badwick. I really want to get into this whole, you know, he's so well liked, Peepaw, who's down dancing below in our lower left-hand corner there, donated him a PC from Meta PCs from his philanthropy fund. And I'm really quite interested in how that all came about. So as we get Badwick back here, I really am quite curious. You know, I would say that Peepaw was very interested in your content and took notice of you, saw that you were in need of a PC, Badwick, and helped you out with a brand new Meta PC. How did that all come about? And honest question, do you feel indebted to Peepaw?
You know what? I wouldn't say indebted to Peepaw, but I definitely think one of the reasons he reached out to me about the PC and why him and like the other people around him agreed to, you know, donate a PC to me, the Meta PC, is because he thought I could, like, he wanted me to constantly keep creating content. And part of the thing you brought up was like, I had multiple shows and pretty consistent with content, and he wanted to basically see me up the content.
Yes, and
like,
you have.
You know what I mean? Improve quality, uploads, and that sort of stuff. I have to a degree. I mean, like I was saying with a drama alert thing, it's kind of like another angle where like I found Turd Island filled a void. With content. I found no one's doing like quick bullet point commentary on subjects that are just unrelated to small commentary. You know what I mean? Because like in this community, you almost get like bottlenecked into like focusing on small commentary, talking about the same people until like a massive subject breaks out, and then everyone's talking about the same thing. But you don't have like individuals daily talking about just like goofy streamer shit or like drama with bigger YouTubers anymore. I found that aspect of stuff kind of died off. So that's why I decided to constantly do it.
Have you been noticing since you
Paradox has like a hate on me?
Yeah, what is up with Paradox? Do you know much about Paradox?
No, I don't know shit about Paradox. But...
Paradox is, you know, he hopped on board the MILTOWN train not too long ago, been very supportive, but I am shocked to see this Paradox dislike. I vow to make him change his views about you, Badwick.
It's all good. Everyone needs haters. Everyone
I
needs
find it
friends.
interesting because I would say Badwick, it's not just you on the Badwick Productions channel, on all these channels. Is that your wife, Kaylee, or is that your significant
Yeah,
other?
no, she comes on every so often.
Would you consider her a
She
big part of your content?
no, she hates
Really?
fucking
I've noticed
commentary.
her on a lot of your content.
Yeah, well, you know what? Sometimes, what's it called? Um, we're just off. You know what I mean? I generally try to stream at nighttime, and if she's around, depending on what we're talking about, she's down to hang out. You
How
know what
does
I mean? She
she
doesn't hate it.
how does she view the commentary community?
She thinks it's stupid, like all of
Okay.
it. She thinks the entire community is garbage.
Is she still very supportive of your creator journey though, or
I definitely would say to a point.
okay?
I would say she's supportive to a point. I think, yeah, one of the things we kind of clash on is her opinion on talking about. Sorry, one moment. One of her opinions of talking about people's personal lives, she's not a big fan of.
I noticed that when
And
I
then
started
diving
speaking
into
about my
stuff.
personal life, she was like, "Keep that
Yeah,
quiet."
well, that was one of her biggest criticisms when people started going on at you about like when you took a mental health break and that
Yeah,
sort of stuff. She found it very ironic that what's it called? That people with mental health problems were trying to judge you.
yeah. Good. I never really. Yeah, it's basically true. Yeah, I found it insane that that was actually going on, but you know, it comes with the honesty piece, and I feel like some people can't be honest with themselves at times, and you know, it is what it is. But how have your numbers been lately, Badwick? You know, between all these platforms, how do you even do your numbers? Do you focus on one platform specifically, or do you just not even focus on numbers?
Well, I don't care about numbers. I think focusing on numbers is kind of a shitty thing to do. I don't know. I just obviously I find anyone who's in on like the content creation game, the YouTube game, is you know what I mean? Whether they want to admit it or not, everyone wants to like, break out, do well, and gain something from it. It would be like wrong to say that people don't
Yeah.
want that. But with that said as well, um, I find it cringe when people try to throw numbers at other people
Yeah, I learned my
face
lesson
and
from that.
right, and I don't necessarily agree with doing it either. But
Yeah.
numbers, I don't know. I find once you start only focusing about numbers, especially as a small content creator, I think you're gonna very much dislike it in the future. I like if that's all it becomes for you, you're gonna burn out.
So speaking of 2024, you know, it's brand new year. What are Badwick's goals for this year?
Staying consistent, not getting canceled.
Okay, I honestly don't think you will get canceled. I think
Oh,
somebody
I don't
might
know.
get you canceled before anything.
Oh no, I don't think anybody can get someone else canceled.
You don't
I
think
really
that?
don't.
Well, I shouldn't say canceled. Might get you in trouble with maybe a
Well, I've been
suspension
in
or something.
trouble I've been in trouble all the fucking time. I think that's a given with that MILTOWN. I think even with like who I pull onto my streams
Yeah.
or like TURD Island gets me in shit all the time, and it doesn't necessarily make me like. I find a misconception with people is because I'm friendly with people or like able to have a conversation with them, and people immediately jump the gun and think I'm like friends with this person. And I do have like people I'm like generally friends with
Yes.
online, but I think like there is a misconception that just because you have a conversation with someone or you're friendly with someone, people immediately jump the gun and be like, "Oh, you're best friends with this person," and no, you're always together. Blah, blah. I hate that shit because I mean I don't know why some people immediately if they don't like someone in a Discord call like enters a call and then screams at them right away. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing like productive about that. And like if for your interview, for example, when I had you on, my whole like everyone wanted to storm that call when you were on there. A lot of people wanted to join in right away and yell at you. I'm like, what's the point? You're not going to get his side out.
Yeah.
You're not going to hear anything he has to say on it. And like I'll be honest, like even with your situation, I had my critical points on it, but like You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You knew that going into it. But if I just started that call and like screeched at you, yelled at you, you would have dipped. And then no one would have had your side of things. You wouldn't have arguably been able to go through like things that you wanted to change or realize stuff. You know what I mean?
You know, and it kind of seems like since that interview, you implemented this. What do you call it? The Badwick trial system you got now. Where can you explain that a little bit to me? Like, what is that? It's people can donate to have people kicked off.
That's a joke.
Okay,
but,
it's not a serious thing.
No, it changes up the content because like last year we did the whole like let's just pull everyone into VC. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it eventually gets old and I get bored of shit too. So I wanted to change stuff up, throw like a curveball into as a means to like with the donations I always throw the cash back into the setup or microphones or whatever I need. So I figured like what's the best of both worlds? And I was like, oh, it'd be fun like if the audience could vote someone off or bring someone back in and then we do like a mock court case.
Yeah. It's really quite interesting.
Paradox,
I like the graphic and everything.
If you donate $100 to MILTOWN right now, I'll leave.
Is that Paradox?
Yeah.
I didn't. You see, look at you're up on my. You're so good. You're up on my chat before I am.
I was called out by it actually. Paradox is like, oh, he's on his phone. I'm always on my fucking phone, even on my shows.
Oh,
but
man, you're good.
No, it's just a fun gimmick though.
You know,
to be honest.
I was surprised. You kind of pulled Abby out of the woodwork there this morning. I believe
I was surprised about that.
You know, I haven't spoke to Abby in over a year, since probably just a little shortly after that whole stream we did.
Yeah.
What do you think about Abby Blackbird, quote unquote, leaving the commentary space?
Abby Blackbird is Abby Blackbird.
Do you think she's gone for good, or you think that was her reemergence into the community?
No, not at all. Abby hasn't left. She's just gone to different streams.
Okay.
But she's not gone.
Okay. Well,
Abby's always
around.
Anyone who thinks Abby Blackbird has left the community is a little naive. I don't think Abby wants to engage with aspects of the community anymore.
I've learned.
But she's around. She's around.
I was just shocked to hear her voice. I was like, wait a minute, is that Abby? I just couldn't believe it. I was so surprised when
she was involved in the Darcy stuff too, I guess. I guess she knew personal information about Darcy and stuff like that.
Isn't it amazing how so many people from this community are involved in this Darcy situation?
There's nothing else going on, bro. Commentary is like sharks in the water, man. When people smell blood, everyone jumps on the same fucking thing.
Fuck, man, it's insane. You know, I wake up and 4:30 in the morning my time, and Badwick's live, and I'm getting messages.
I got calls all fucking night, bro. I got calls. I got messages. I got people apparently trying to spam porn in my Discord.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I know.
Man, I know what these Discord servers are like. I had one, and I had a couple people in charge of it for a while, and it's props to you for all these balls you're juggling, Badwick. Seriously, even this pornography in your Discord server, that is something that could eventually do damage to you down the road. How do you find you're able to juggle all these balls? But I mean, how do you trust these mods? How do these mods not end up running away doing the wrong thing down the line? Or is it just a matter of trusting them? Or, I try
getting the right people and then also having IRL friends be your mods as well.
Come to find out, I had people in charge of my Discord, and little did I know that they were hunting for it. And then when I just deleted it, I got shit for not giving it to them. I
think the best mods you can have for a Discord are people who are also self-conscious about their personal image online, because they won't abuse that power because of the fact that if they abuse it, it's on them, and it also goes back on them. And the same thing goes for other content creators. Like I'm mods in a few people's chats and Discords as well, but if I go around fucking abusing that privilege, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it comes back on me, not necessarily them. Well, probably them as well, but on you as well.
Who would you say are some of your favorite content creators, Badwick?
Larger YouTubers?
It doesn't matter. Who do you enjoy genuinely? When you go to your subscription feed, who do you genuinely enjoy watching?
Oh fuck! I have a range of content. MILTOWN. I have everything from fucking like D&D, Magic the Gathering, fucking content to
Okay.
commentary.
So are you a fan of the
Uh,
Magic Historian?
yeah, actually, I
He puts
enjoy
out good
lore.
stuff.
I'm a big D&D guy, so I
Okay.
enjoy like lore and shit like that, fantasy stuff, and Star Wars. I mean, up until recently, I had some beef with two Star Wars channels, Eckhart's Ladder and Star Wars Theory.
Leave it to you,
But
Badwick.
right, arguing about fucking bullshit. But yeah, no. So it ranges from like nerdy content to commentary stuff. And I mean, for commentary, I watch Bo Blacks, I watch Some Ordinary Gamers, Keemstar, but like things he's on because he doesn't fucking upload
Hmm.
anymore. And then I would say like small commentary, I do my best to support other people
I've
around. Like if
noticed.
I know someone like is streaming, I'll do my best to like, you know what I mean, pop in and watch what they're streaming about. Like Leia, K-Huck, Peepaw, now recording. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because it's impossible to like I watch all these people. It honestly is. And I don't know how some people do
I
it.
agree.
I really don't.
There's not enough
I
hours in the
find
day.
right? I don't know how like you see some people and they're in every chat. That is like very difficult in my opinion.
One thing I
I
really have
really
to ask you though, Bad, because where did your hatred for VTubers come from? It seems like
oh
you
my
you
god.
genuinely
I fucking
garner
hate them.
hatred towards VTubers.
My end goal is to become a VTuber so I can fucking shit on other VTubers. Um, I fucking can't stand them. I just there's no community more toxic than the VTuber community, and I got into the VTuber stuff through esports when I
Okay.
was like in that side of the internet. So when I was a manager on an esports team called Raid Intel, another one called Fractured Memories, and then I was a content creator on an esports team called North.
Okay.
And through there, I met a few other content creators that were VTubers. So by just like interaction, talking to them, we generally like started associating more. And by associating with them, I start to fall in line with the VTubers and looking into VTuber drama, talking to some of these VTubers. It's fucking wild. Like there's no community more toxic than them. They commentary is nothing, man. These people like have been doxing, swabbing,
That's
and
what I'm
all
saying. The
this shit
doxing,
forever.
the doxing in the
And
VTube
like their
community is
drama start
nuts.
petty shit. Like petty shit. Like commentary, people get angry because someone calls someone a bitch, or someone calls the other person like a fucking loser, or you took an L, or you took a W. That's how
Yeah,
theirs starts from like, oh my god, you hired this artist. Fuck you, because we have the same avatars.
that's
Like that's how
insanity.
like their fucking drama starts. And it blows the fuck up. And VTubers, I don't know what it is with the market, but it seems like there's a huge market for it. And I don't understand the content between VTubers
It's that
because
younger generation, man. It's there are a lot of younger people. It seems like in that community, it's either like middle-aged men or young anime fans. It seems like to me, it's like one or
but
the
they have
other.
some of them have like 20,000 viewers.
Yeah, it's
You
nuts.
know what I mean? For
Yeah.
fucking what? Like saying ooh woo?
Yeah,
Like,
it reminds me of Slug. Whenever I see it, like Slug
ah,
is
don't
one of the
compare
prime
the two.
example of who, like I didn't understand what uwu was. Like I was talking with Slug one time, and he actually wrote it in. I was like, "What the fuck does this mean?" Like I didn't understand that he actually uses uwu in text. Like I couldn't believe
I
it.
I will say I'll agree with Paradox on one thing. I do find it's a little suspicious with some people that do hide behind VTubers all the
Yeah,
time, and I can understand not wanting to put your face on the internet. I get that, but then it's like the Echo Tragedy thing, where I'm like, why you use a female fucking VTuber?
yeah, I heard all
Like
that.
you're a guy, and I know how Echo looks like, but
Okay.
that's what I was making the joke about on the last Wall Smashers, where I was like, I felt so fucking weird with his like the thumbnail with
Yeah.
him because I'm like, this is weird.
Have you always been
And
okay
a
with
lot of
showing your
them,
face?
oh yeah, why not? You know what I mean?
And
Yeah, I
would you?
talk shit IRL, and we talk shit on the internet, bro.
Yeah, and it seems like you never have a problem with like platforming people that aren't comfortable showing their face.
Oh no, I don't. I understand why people want to remain private, especially if someone looks like fucking Quasimodo.
But do you think
But
they should outgrow that at some point if they're actually trying to be a content creator?
you know what? I think a lot of people are self-conscious about their looks.
Yeah.
And in the community we're in,
They're
I
vicious.
think
They are vicious.
they are vicious, and I do think it's a lot easier to talk shit behind a profile picture than it is on a camera.
True. True.
I will say that, and I think there are like a lot of insecurities, especially in this community,
Yeah.
where you know what I mean. People sniff it out of nowhere. You know, like you first say you make content for a year, and then you decide to face reveal,
Mhm.
and then people shit talk you.
Yeah.
You're not gonna and call you ugly and all this shit. You're never gonna fucking go back on camera,
Yeah.
and then people are always make fun of you about it.
Yeah,
So-
I've had like a ping ponging with that myself, and
I just think if you start on camera, just go for it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
yeah,
Plus, it's also more appealing to watch. People
I've
enjoy
noticed
watching
that.
a camera rather than a profile picture.
that
Like,
was some
100%.
advice I got from Salvo of all people. It was like just stop with
Alan's an excellent entertainer.
and
Excellent
I took the
entertainer.
advice
He's
like.
just crazy.
There needs to be more people. I think Leah should show her face more. I think there should be there's these. I think it would give them that extra boost that they need. In my opinion, I think if you got the chops to do it without showing your face, imagine once you get those facials going, those emotion, you can actually show those emotions through your facials. I think it could only add to your whole package. But as you know, we've been going almost an hour here, Badwick. Just a couple more questions for you.
Whatever you want, bro.
If I were to ask you for some advice and say, where should I be aiming my content this coming year? What would you tell me to do?
Be consistent. Just
Okay.
be consistent. Do your own thing. I think everyone falls into it where everyone wants to be part of a community, and I think that's the problem.
Okay.
You just need to build your own community, build your own brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally
find,
agree.
like, people want to be like Now Recording, people want to be like Peepaw, people want to be like Augie, and I think trying to like build your content off of a community like that is the wrong way to look at it. And everyone's guilty of it. Let's
yeah.
be honest. We all get into it and everyone's guilty. I think having influences and taking ideas from other people, especially ideas that like have turned out to be successful, and implemented it into your content and changing it in a way that makes it unique for you,
Yes.
goes a lot longer and does a lot better than like trying to be someone else. You know what I mean? And trying to be in like a community, like rather than like be yourself. I think I don't know. I'm fucking going on a tangent, but basically,
No.
like, just do
It's
your
good
own
stuff.
thing. You know what I mean? Do your
Yeah.
own thing. Stay consistent. Take ideas from people that have done well,
Mm-hmm.
and then change them so they're unique for yourself. And then I think naturally you'll gain an audience as long as you have a personality.
For sure, for sure. I haven't gave you any chance to plug yet, and I really think you need to.
Oh,
to
I
plug-
don't care about
Well,
that
how
shit.
many? I
Plug
mean,
in.
we got to plug your half a dozen shows here, Badwick. I mean, we got Wall Smashers. When's the next Wall Smashers coming out?
Well, I have an editor for it now, Nerdy John, because I got.
Oh,
lazy
Nerdy
with
John's
my
good.
content. Yeah, and to be fair, he's a good editor. If anyone needs one, I highly
Good content
recommend him.
creator too.
Yeah, and no, so I figured to stay more consistent. That's my thing. I'm really shitty on the editing side of stuff, and that's obviously where I needed more help. So
Okay.
I figured, for content, just hire someone for
And-
$10.
and as you
part
s-
of where the donations go is to that sort of stuff. So then you guys get more content.
For sure. As I noticed, you didn't do TURD Island last week. You said there wasn't
Oh
much
no, there's
content.
nothing to fucking talk about.
But then
Unless
you went live out of the blue today. So would you say TURD Island is kind of a sporadic show at this point?
I don't know. It depends on if there's shit going on. I mean, like, I know people are gonna want to talk about Darcy on TURD Island, but I'm not really interested in it.
Yeah, I don't know where I stand with this,
I
man.
I don't want to make like someone's mental health breakdown content,
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
And I
like,
don't know what's
obvious-
off limits and what's on limits. I don't know what she's because
Well,
they've told me
arguably, there's
these
nothing off
pronouns
limits.
drive me nuts.
When it comes to content, there's nothing that's arguably off limits. It's what you want to hold yourself to. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And if you're fine going on about someone's mental health, that shows how you are.
Well,
You
I
know
want
what
to
I mean?
respect boundaries. I really
Well,
do.
exactly. And that's like kind of the stance I'm on. I'm not worried about addressing it or talking about it if someone brings it up. I'm not worried, but I'm not going to make a full show or like make it a topic of a
Yeah,
night because I just, like I said, like with that situation, there obviously is mental health involved, and it's not the content I preferably want to make.
for
You
sure.
know,
For
I'd
sure.
rather shit talk someone that shit talks back, or someone that makes a shitty video,
Speaking
or
of somebody that shit talks, real quick, this Leo guy, whatever happened to him? Leo the lion,
Leo
lion.
Conroy.
Whatever happened with this guy? I mean, he was
I don't
getting
know.
abused by the commentary community for the longest, and now he's. Where is this guy? What's up with him?
I don't know actually, yeah, what happened to Leo Conroy. I never really followed him that much. I heard about him from Slug
Yeah, of course.
because he was on a Slug stream, and then I saw a picture of him, and it looks like he made his fucking lion suit out of human skin.
True.
Um, and then I saw the whole like Peepaw argument with him, where he's like, "You're a grown man, you should know better." But
Yeah,
yeah,
that was
this is the
insane.
guy who dresses up as a lion and calls himself a self-proclaimed pedophile hunter. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
that's where we're at with Leo. But no, I see him pop up once in a while on Twitter. But honestly, I asked if he wanted to chit chat and call into Turd Island, and he was like, "No, you can call into my show." I'm like, "No, fuck
Yeah,
you."
yeah,
Or
yeah. One
like,
of those deals.
right? And that's one of the things I don't like about some people is that people mute people
Reminds me, one
and
last
calls.
question. I got one. How did you feel when you had Slug on for a while? You were kind of entertaining Slug, but he was always stream sniping you. He was always
Oh,
constant.
always. Oh my
Did
god.
that
It's
honestly? It would piss me off if somebody was doing that to
it's
me,
like
man.
there's nothing you can do about it.
But
There's
does it
no way you
upset
can.
you? It would have to, bro.
Okay, so unless the only it doesn't upset me, it's annoying. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, because we're all like making content, and we all react to like content we each make. It's the game of like the small commentary community. We all react to each other's fucking content.
yeah,
That's fine. But I do find like unless someone gives you permission, I'll be honest. Like a good example for this one is Xylee. When I've called in on Xylee streams, where she's like, "Oh, call into my stream." I'm like, "Well, I'm currently like streaming Xylee, and
yeah.
I don't want to like what I mean, end my stream to call into yours."
Hmm.
And she's like, "Oh, that's fine. Just keep streaming."
See, that's
I
respect.
think like if you want like a honest, like transparent way to go about it, I think doing something like that is.
I agree.
But like all this shit where it's like sneaks into a call to make content and then talk about it,
Like,
or and like he's a good example because he's someone who's rude about it,
yeah.
where he'll call into it and then he'll cause an argument with someone and then he'll mute everybody and then you hear him talk of like to people on his own fucking
Yeah,
stream.
it
And
was
I'm
like you had a stream one time, I believe, that got took off of whatever platform it was on, so you were like, it's lost media. And then I see Slug posting on Twitter like he's got a copy of it and kind of like gloating that he's got your content and it's his copyright now.
I think I remember. Yeah, I think I remember.
It just seemed real odd to me, and it's like, why are you proud of copyright sniping somebody?
Copyright.
Well, essentially, that is your copyright, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking at things legitimately, bro, anything you put out is your copyright. And when this guy stream snipes you and then he actually puts his commentary on, that's his copyright now. So it's fucked. I mean,
I will say also being self-aware is part of it, knowing that
yeah,
people are going to call into your show as well.
yeah,
It's going to happen in this community,
yeah. You learn something new every day, I tell you, Badwick. It's
you do. You absolutely do.
It's been a pleasure having you on. First interview back since the old Valid Opinion live days. You think I'm improving a little bit? I'm sorry for asking for self-approval, but I need some.
I do.
I'm working on it.
MILTOWN. I think you found like a kind of a niche spot as well. Your time schedule. Just be consistent, dude. I
try.
would say you should probably do a mix of you should do your interviews because that's what you started doing originally
Yeah.
with your content.
Mhm.
And then my only advice, I guess, to give you some advice is
Yes.
try to do something else to build your community. Keep
For
with
sure.
your interviews because that's your staple, and then look for other ways, whether it be like a chill stream on like a random date or like a game in stream per
Sure.
se, or maybe like a breakdown of a story,
Yeah,
news situation. But always remain like consistent with the main thing you're doing.
for
You know
sure.
what I mean? You're gonna do your news or your content creator interviews. Make sure you're doing your content creator interviews,
Okay,
and then try to add in other things.
for sure. I
Would be
can't
the
thank you
only
enough.
thing I like advice, I guess,
For
from
sure.
my experience, because it's worked out for me. So
It's been awesome having you on, Badwick. I can't thank you
yeah,
enough.
thanks, Milltown. I appreciate it.
Everybody, I'm going to link Badwick in the description. Make sure you subscribe to Badwick on all 29 of his platforms. The man is seriously blooming like a rose, and it's an awesome thing to see. And he's a hell of a gamer and all that good jazz. Again, Badwick, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, man.
Well, thank you, Milltown. Hope you have a good day, bud.
For sure, for sure. So everybody, that was good old Badwick. It was a pleasure having him on. You know, we've been going for a little over an hour now. I have all these topics, guys, but I have somebody with a wood chipper right outside my window, and it's not pleasurable whatsoever. So I might have to end the show for now. I just want to check the chat real quick, guys, because it's only fair I show some love to you guys. So you guys are going to have to deal with the wood chipper in the background for now. I apologize for that. But Paradox, I'm so glad Valid got dragged to high heavens. That they're a disingenuous freak. Badwick thanks Milltown. Thank you, Paradox. I appreciate Gospel Lamp. I found out after the fact from our interview with Milltown last year while I was on hiatus that Valid wasn't as straight and narrow as she portrayed. All right, guys, so that's real quick. I'm just going to speak on Valid real quick. I recently found out that Valid spoke to me kind of as a dare from Edwin and Edwin's server. I guess they had this tab in their server where they were like, I don't want to say A-logging me, but whenever I'd post a video, it would, like, I don't know if they have those bots on Discord, which tells you when people tweet or when they post a video, but they had like a tab on the Edwin server, and I guess they wanted to, Edwin and Dove had wanted to talk to me for so long, and I guess Eli kind of just did it on like a dare and reached out to me. And I started talking to Eli, and had I not like been naive, I would have probably never learned all this. But that shit hurts your feelings, knowing that somebody kind of based their friendship off of you, off of somebody else wanting to get to know you. It's not like Eli wanted to get to know me. It was like Eli wanted to get to know me because Edwin and Dove wanted to get to know me, and that hurts. So I hold resentment to Eli to this day about that, but I'm not gonna lie, I sometimes I miss making content with Eli. Eli brought a lot of good ideas to the table, and I didn't like how Eli policed me at times. It goes to show that I've had a lot more success now just being myself than playing the game, as she used to call it. But, you know, the Valid Opinions days were just that. Those were the Valid Opinion days. Oh, guys, I forgot Evil Bill. Guys, I got so much stuff I want to talk about, but, oh, this damn wood chipper. Evil Bill is coming to the channel, guys. I actually invested in a puppet. I did not make Evil Bill. Evil Bill comes from down south, and Evil Bill got eyes that'll light up a room. And Evil Bill's going to say everything that Supa Dave can't. And I am excited to introduce you guys to hashtag Evil Bill. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Amber Lily in the chat. Like calling, that's not even Eli's name though. Eli's another alias. So, Ember, I don't know where you're going with that. If I really wanted to dox somebody, I would call Eli by her legal. But I don't. Eli's just another alias, like Valid. So, there's that. And I don't mean to be a bitch about it. It's just like, I've played all those games. I've done all that for Eli. And it did nothing good for me. So, if me calling Eli makes me comfortable, so be it. It's just what it is. That's Eli on my channel. I don't know what, I don't know what else to say. You know, and then I shouldn't be outing all this shit, guys, because it's long and in the past. But longtime supporter of this channel is Mama Creepy, and Mama Creepy has shown so much respect towards me and just has been awesome. Nothing but awesome and kind and polite. And that used to piss Eli off. Or excuse me, that used to piss Valid Creations off. And it would piss Valid Creations off so much that I honestly think that there are people who are now bullying Mama Creepy on the internet, and I honestly think that these people might somewhere be connected to certain people down the road. I wouldn't be shocked if the people that are making Mama Creepy's life hell aren't associated with the people who said some very harsh things about Mama Creepy to me. But that's all I'm gonna say about that. I don't want to dig into the past, guys. It's not the past. I've just had an awesome interview with Badwick 2024. We're moving forward. So much going on, guys. Like I said, I got a whole show docket ready to go, guys. I might come back later on today and finish this docket up. Just so much going on outside my house right now, and I feel like I can't focus to get it all out there. But we got a lot more to talk about, so maybe even if I come back later today or tomorrow morning, as Badwick says, consistency, and you will be seeing a lot more consistency from Super Dave, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview today. It was a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun doing this again, and I hope you guys hop on board for the ride, because it means a lot to me. This content creation journey I'm on really is all I got going for me right now, and I feel no shame in saying that. I'm fully invested. Some people aren't fully invested in their content, and I'm proud to say I am. I'm always trying to learn new things. I'm always trying to grow mentally and with my technology and aspects like that. I'm always into hearing the news, the gossip, and all that good stuff in hopes of making a better show. And let's see where this thing goes, guys. With all that being said, stick around. I'll be back soon, guys. I love you. Peace.